Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of The Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to watch the video and spend some time with me today. I always appreciate that. And guys, today we're going to be talking about one of the most fun lure that you can fish, one of my favorite lures for probably 9 months out of the year, and that is a Swinghead jig setup with a zoom speed craw on it. This is the Biffle hardhead. So we're going to go give some tips and advice on how to fish this. I'm going to show you guys how to rig it, talk a little bit about the type of areas you wanted to fish it in today's video. Also, guys, just a quick reminder, you've heard me talk about it, but we do have our summer lake map breakdowns up at fishthemoment.com. These are lake maps that I built specifically for Fish the Moment. We've got lakes all over the country. We've got them for every season of the year. Really good resource to learn more about your favorite lake or a lake you've never been on. So I'll include the Fish the Moment lake map breakdown link in the description of this video. Okay guys, here's the setup here with it. I'm gonna first of all, for you guys that are not familiar, I'm gonna show you how to rig this, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about why it's so effective. Now this is the Biffle hardhead, and also guys, I'll include all these components in my Tackle Warehouse link if you'd like to order some to try for yourself. But this is the Biffle hardhead. Tommy Biffle made it famous about 15 years ago, and this has been, it's been one of the standbys for anyone out there that likes to bass fish. This is an incredible fish catcher. It's sort of in line with the football head jig. It's like, think about it, the type of places that you fish a football head jig in, the swing head jig works just as good, but the advantage of a swing head jig, it also works really good in shallow water, a little bit even more than the football head jig, but it's a pretty simple setup. It's just an EWG hook, an offset hook, and it's got what would be normally the football head jig is actually, it swings there. It's not affixed to the hook shank like a football head jig. So it gives it a lot more freedom of movement, and it gives you more trailer options. But they work with a lot of different type of trailers. There's a bunch that I use, but my favorite, guys, is the Zoom Speed Craw, just a little speed craw on it. And actually, I hadn't even tried this until I was fishing with Luke Clausen a couple of years ago down at Table Rock Lake, and Luke was throwing a speed craw on it. And I normally just fish like a Z-craw or a Biffle bug behind it, but Luke caught a bunch of fish on this little speed craw, so I started using it, and it's become my favorite. But just put you a little speed craw on there. You can use the regular one like this or the Magnum one. And guys, this setup right here is deadly right there, absolutely deadly. It's about the same size of craw that a lot of the bass like to eat. And most of the time I fish it on a 5/16 or 7/16 ounce head for that type of setup. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about what you want to do with this and how you want to fish it. Most of the time, I fish it on a medium action 7-foot rod. I use that Mega Bass Perfect Pitch, and I'm using it most of the time on 15 to 20 pound test Seaguar and VizX line. And basically you just throw it out there where you're fishing and just reel it along the bottom. All you have to do is just slow crank it, throw it out there, let it hit the bottom, and just slowly reel it in. And that thing is just sort of digging along the bottom like that. You don't have to pull it, you don't have to hop it. Just make sure that you reel it slow enough to where the bait maintains bottom contact. Now, obviously, if you're fishing deeper water with it, sometimes I'll go up to like a 9/16 or 11/16 ounce. But most of the time, I like to fish it in that 5 to 10 foot zone, so that 5/16 and 7/16 really works good, crawling along the bottom. A lot of different areas it'll work in. My favorite type of an area to fish the Swinghead jig in is on a flat bank. A flat bank or flat point seems to be the best for me. I don't catch as many fish on it on steep banks because it does hang up a little bit, and the way that the bait falls, you need a flat bank in order to keep it in contact when you slow reel it. If you fish too steep of a bank, it's hard to keep bottom contact with it because as you reel it, even if you reel it slow, it falls off those drop-offs and it tends to come up off the bottom. So flat banks are the best. So a flat rocky bank, a flat clay bank, a flat, gravelly bank, a flatter point with different type of rock or clay on it, really, really good type of areas to fish it in. Now, one of the areas that I've learned to catch fish on this, actually from listening to Tommy Biffle, is to take a little bit lighter head, like the 3/16 or the 5/16, and skip it underneath boat docks and the boat dock walkways. And you can skip that thing really good on the light head under like a dock walkway, and the same thing, just slowly crawl it on the bottom there. Looks like a little crawdad rooting around the bottom, but it's a fun way to fish, guys. And most of the time when you get a bite on it, you'll be reeling it slow, and all of a sudden it just feels like you lose contact with the bottom. And that's because that fish has come up there and then hailed it from above, and it just feels like you've lost contact and the line will start swimming out. But it is a deadly technique all year. The best time to fish it, in my opinion, is either during the late pre-spawn or the early post-spawn, and then again this time of year, late summer, early fall, really good times to fish it. So anyway, guys, give it a try if you haven't thrown it. Just get you some type of a natural color like watermelon candy, green pumpkin. Again, I'll link everything in the description of the video to get you set up on it, and hope it helps out. I'll talk to you guys later.